Raise your hand if you would like to hear more yeses when you're having a sales call or a sales presentation. In fact, you can raise both hands if you would like to hear more yeses on your sales conversations and sales calls. If you have both hands raised, even if you have one hand raised, you're at the right video at the right time, because I'm going to share one thing that you can absolutely do that will help you get to yes with integrity and empathy. Hello, I'm Althea McIntyre. Welcome to Althea TV, where we help established Christ-centered female entrepreneurs just like you trust God, own the value of your expertise, and grow your sales by profiting off of what is easy and natural for you to do. So you've just told me that you want to get more yeses from your sales calls or sales presentations, whether that's a one-to-one sales presentation or one-to-many. And the one thing that you can absolutely do that I had to learn is that you can create authentic urgency. But let me take you back. So I remember years ago that I would be having these great sales conversations. I could feel that the person was ready to say yes. They could see the value in the offer. And then they would say that they needed to think about it. They would give some time. And I would say, okay, because I didn't want to be seen as pushy or manipulative or, aggressive. And I wouldn't create any authentic urgency in that sales call. And so what would happen is that person would kind of disappear. I may follow up, but I didn't have a solid sales process in place, and then they would disappear, right? So, and I would always wonder, what happened? I'm not quite sure what happened. And more importantly, what can I do to get to more yeses in my sales call? So I was just feeling so frustrated because it seemed like things were going in the right direction until, the person said they needed to think about it. And I didn't know, was there a simple fix that I could do? And I then started working with a coach who was really helping me on a lot of the nuances on the sales calls and not only my mindset, but what was I saying in the sales call? And she shared with me a very simple framework that really changed everything. So I'm going to share one aspect of the framework that you can implement today, and that is authentic urgency. Now, authentic urgency is about helping ideal prospects who you can help solve their number one problem or bring them their pleasure quicker, faster, easier, and more efficiently than they could on their own, make a decision by giving them a deadline. Okay, you may not want to admit this, but let me ask, do you sometimes procrastinate on moving forward in the direction you want to move if you don't have a deadline? Do you sometimes say, I'll do that later, I'm going to get to it, but you actually never get to it because you don't have a deadline? Well, if you said yes, you're like every other human being I know, that we as humans tend to procrastinate if we don't have a deadline, if we don't have someone helping us take action and make a decision. And so when you create authentic urgency in the form of a deadline, when someone has to get back to you or when someone has to make a decision with saying yes or no to your offer, you are going to get more yeses. Let me say that again. When you create authentic, keyword authentic urgency to help people say yes to what they already want to buy, to getting the help that they already desire and need and want to get their problems solved or experience the pleasure they want. When you create an authentic deadline, then you're going to get more yes. In fact, you're helping them make a decision. Now, if the decision is no, fantastic. You still help them make a decision. Now, let me say this again. You've been hearing this, right? You help them make a decision. That means you show up as a leader. You showed up authentic as someone of service with confidence, knowing that by giving people a deadline, it's helping them. You're not coming off as pushy. You're not coming off as manipulative. Because without giving them a deadline, you're actually coming off as indirect, passive, and then there's a whole thing that can happen, right? You can find yourself in this endless loop of DMs, emails, phone calls, text message follow-up, because you haven't set a deadline for them, right? And you can just make it easier for everyone and help them make a decision by giving them a deadline, an authentic deadline. It's authentic urgency. So here's what I want you to do. When you are having a sales conversation or sales presentation and someone is saying, I'm interested, but I need to think about it, give them a deadline to get back to you. Something that is reasonable, something that makes sense. It doesn't have to be 1,000,000, trillion, 50 years. It really doesn't. Okay? Help them make a decision. And particularly if you work with clients who tend to overthink, who tend to procrastinate, this is actually serving them. This is actually helping them, right? Or even someone who has a lot on their plate and a lot going on, and they need someone to take a leadership role in the sales conversation. They don't only need it, they love it. They love it. Oh my gosh, they're so excited that you are stepping up and helping it make it easier for them to say yes if it's a right fit or no. So start creating authentic urgency in your sales calls, in your sales presentations. And that means creating a deadline for people to make a decision. And you will receive more yeses from your sales conversation, sales presentations. Listen, if you would like to learn more about sales and you want to stop making some of the common, really the biggest sales mistakes that most Christ-centered female entrepreneurs make that keep them from seven figures that you probably are making, then you're definitely want to grab my new free training. Just go to the description box, and these are the 7 biggest sales mistakes that I see that are robbing you of a fortune, that are delaying God's promises, and grab that free training now. You are absolutely going to love it. And I want you to have that in your arsenal. Okay. If you love this video, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're not already a part of the Althea TV community, and share this video with others who too want to have more yeses from their sales calls and their sales presentation. Okay. Until then, take care. God bless. Love you. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when we release a new video. Then click the TV to watch the next video. Go to altheamcintyre.com to get your free training on the 7 biggest sales mistakes that keep you from 7 figures.